We'll start with Peter Baugh, The Athletic.
Hey, Gruby, Sauter told us that you were given the chain after the game for the best player. I guess, what was that moment like in the locker room? Who gave it to you, and what did they say to you when that happened?
Kale gave it to me. No, it was just overall tough game, but we found a way to win it, and that's what we need. Obviously, a huge kill at the end there of the third period, and then power play stepped up and won us the game. So,
any other questions for Philipp? Ryan O'Halloran, Denver Post.
Philipp, when you win in overtime like that, how big of a relief is it for it to be over?
Yeah, I mean it's huge. It's a difference if you lead the series 2-0 or if you go into Vegas 1-1. So we knew they were going to come out with their best game. Their backs are against the wall a little bit. So we found a way to win and pull that one off for sure.
Arif Dean, Mile High Sports.
Philipp, you guys haven't had a lot of games this year where you guys were outshot like that, but to take away a win in a game where you guys, didn't have your best game, just what kind of confidence does that give you heading into Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen too often. I can't even remember the last time. It might have been in Vegas. We got outshot a little bit, but for the most part, we do an unbelievable job of keeping guys to the outside and not allowing too many shots. I mean, today was an exception, but we're going to make sure next game doesn't happen again.
Michael Spencer, CBS 4.
Philipp, you kind of touched on this yesterday, but when you're going up against a guy on the other side like Flower, who obviously is one of 3 finalists for the Venza, is there extra satisfaction in coming away with a victory in a game like this?
Not really. I'm honestly focused on winning in every situation out there, and then the next situation and the situation after. So, yeah, it's nice to win, but it doesn't matter who's in that moment.
We'll take 2 more here for Philipp in English. Mark Kisla, Denver Post.
Philipp, when you're facing that many shots, is it fun? Do you get in the rhythm, or what's the level of anxiety there?
Anxiety level 0. It doesn't matter if I face 40, 50, or just 10 shots. The approach is always the same. I never change anything. Obviously, those games are a little bit tougher if you get less shots, and you get a little bit into the groove if you get a little bit more. So it was really good today. Got a little bit more than usual, but I won't complain.
Peter Baugh, The Athletic.
Phil, can you just walk through what you saw in that last power play and on Vegas's last power play, where I think you had like those 4 saves right at the end? What did you see there? What were the guys around you doing well? Can you just walk through that whole process?
Yeah, honestly, I can't even remember. It's just we did an unbelievable job keeping them to the outside and getting in the lanes and blocking the necessary shots, and found a way to get it out, I believe, and that was good.
And we'll end with one here for Philipp in German. Stefan Herget, NHL.com, Germany.
Ja, hallo Philipp, Glückwunsch zum Sieg. Kannst du mir auf Deutsch nochmal ein kurzes Fazit sagen zu deiner Leistung heute, und was mich auch interessieren würde, ob du deinen rechten Pfosten schon gestreichelt hast?
Ja, hallo der Stefan. Ja, Feile, habe ich gestreichelt. War mein linker Pfosten, war mein rechter Pfosten. Ein bisschen Glück gerade dazu, aber war ein hart erkämpfter Sieg. War nicht unser bestes Spiel, aber wir haben einen Weg gefunden, damit wir das Spiel gewinnen. Und jetzt wird es interessant, wenn wir nach Vegas gehen. Die werden wahrscheinlich auch wieder wie die Feuerwehr rauskommen und müssen wir wieder gegenhalten und einen Weg finden, das Spiel zu gewinnen.
All right, thank you, Philipp.
Yep. To start, just what did you think of Philipp's performance, and how important is it in the postseason to have a goalie who can maybe steal a game for you here and there?
Well, that last part of that question is obvious. It's really important, and I thought his performance was exceptional. I mean, we played a good first period. I liked our first period. We were skating, drawing penalties, winning a lot of races, winning a lot of puck battles, and in the final 40 minutes, we didn't do that. I thought we started to come a few times in the third period, but we gave up the home run play against a few times. Like, they got in behind us for some breakaways. We got caught on our forecheck, too many turnovers. But second period, I think they won every race and every puck battle, and we ended up playing in our zone almost the whole period. So, but the guys guys still had the belief in the locker room. We got a little better in the third and came out in overtime and we're ready to play. And we draw another penalty, and power play was really good tonight. It gets us 2 big goals. It just seemed to me like we didn't execute very well, and puck was bouncing around a lot tonight. And we needed Gruby in a big way tonight, and he showed up for us.
Ryan O'Halloran, Denver Post.
Hey, Jared, big penalty kill at the end of the third period there. How impressed were you with your first and second groups in that situation?
Well, they were good. I mean, I thought that penalty kill, we kept them to the outside. They had a couple looks off the flanks. I guess that's, the best you could hope for against a strong power play like that they have. And again, Gruby was good in goal. They had the clears. When we got it on our tape, we got it down. The goal they had in the first period, we had a failed clear, and then we didn't protect the seam, and they scored on that. Our guys learned from that, did a nice job in the seam a couple of times in that late one in the third. And so, I mean, that was a huge kill because we had just had a power play too, and we never got anything going on that one. I didn't like that power play. Puck was bouncing around all over the place on that one, and we just didn't execute. And, but our power play steps up. Penalty kill steps up at the end of the third, and our power play steps up in overtime. So, huge performance from our special teams tonight to help us get the win.
Michael Spencer, CBS 4.
Jared, maybe not surprisingly, but on the other side, they weren't too happy with the penalty call there in overtime. They called it soft and maybe a little bit of embellishment. What were your thoughts on it?
I think that's an easy one to call for me because he didn't have to do it. And if Mikko's going out to the point to cover the point, the puck's out there, and he knocks his stick out of his hands and he doesn't have it, it could end up in our net going the other way because he's going out without a stick against a skilled D-man, and it's going to create a chance coming that way. So, I mean, I thought they were pretty consistent in what they called. Like, we got called wrapping up a guy, new hook, wrapping up a guy and off the rush. They got called again right after that, wrapping up a guy in the corner. I mean, you could tell they were calling the slashes. Mac drove the net one time. He called the slash, and we got nailed for one. I mean, I don't know. I think in that situation, I would want that called. I mean, I know it's overtime, but I mean, if we're going out to that point with no stick, we're in trouble.
We'll take 2 more here for Jared. Arif Dean, Mile High Sports.
Jared, Brandon Saad got the scoring started. He's obviously had a goal now in his last 5 games. Is this what you had envisioned from him in the playoffs when you guys acquired him last offseason?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a guy that's performed in big moments his whole career and seems to get better as the season goes on. So, right out of the COVID break, and he was an impact player for us. He's finding a way to get on the score sheet every night late in the season and in the playoffs and scoring big goals for us. And he had some jump early in the game. I think looked like he lost his legs a little bit as the game went on, but I mean, he was skating and jumping the holes in the neutral zone and creating some chances off the rush. And he's, again, I thought tonight he was real strong on the walls and made sure pucks got out, and which we needed to relieve some pressure, especially in the second and third period.
Last one here, Kate.
What did you think of that whole line of Sods with Jostin and Tushkin?
Great start. I thought Nichushkin skated, really well, and he had some jump in his legs. As the game went on, they started spending a little more time in their zone. They had the one shift where they got hemmed in at the start of the third period where it was a shooting gallery for Vegas. They blocked a couple big shots and tried to keep it to the outside. So I was a little bit hot and cold with that line, but I was the same way with the rest of our team. Like, we had a good first period, and obviously the last 40 minutes weren't exactly the way we would have drawn them up. I think Gruby steals us that one, and we got to regroup and take a look at the tape and make sure that we make some adjustments in areas that we need to get better at going into Vegas.
All right. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.